welcome to Yoga Rocks Box. You can see that today we have come to the beach for the interview. So it's very beautiful. And I'm here with Lurey, who's been teaching again at Yoga Rocks. And we're just going to talk briefly about how yoga can shift your perspectives and how that can be very useful. So, how do you think that yoga gives you an alternative perspective? Yeah, different ways. What do you think?
I see there are a couple of different approaches to it. First of which, as I've been teaching this week, one of my key phrases that I learned from my teacher Lurey, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So yoga brings about an awareness of what we do in our bodies, of how we think, of how we breathe, of how we interact with each other. So as we increase the level of awareness of our interactions, we can actually have a different perspective of what it's like from someone else's perspective. Because I see life through my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my sense organs, and also through my conditions of my mind, but I have no idea what your experience is. And so if we're engaged in some conversation, if we're having to make a decision, something like this, and I'm only thinking from my mindset, yoga will hopefully allow me to have a higher level of awareness to say, wow, Helen actually has a whole nother life perspective that is influencing her decisions. That's how it can help change the perspective of seeing from the perspective of someone else.
So it allows a little bit more compassion.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and also maybe allows you to see yourself from a different perspective rather than being completely involved in your emotions and your thoughts. You get to just actually spin the perspective and take a look at yourself, and that's a really important part of yoga.
100%. And there's the perspective of getting to look at your feet and getting to look at the different physical parts of your body that asana practice does. And the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So as you start to look at your body differently, you can also look at other bodies differently as the miracle of humanity.
Yes, we were going to do this interview in headstand, but we decided we'd come to the beach instead. And practically yoga maybe gives you an alternative perspective from the mainstream perspective. So, for example, an important part of yoga is non-attachment, realizing that your stuff is not important. And maybe as well, getting a sensible relationship with the people around you, so non-attachment almost to the people you love. And this is quite different to mainstream culture, where it's all about clinging on and getting money, getting stuff in the West anyway. So do you think yoga helps you to shift the perspective there as well?
I definitely do. It's a several layered conversation because as I was taught and I practiced that yoga is not about the non-attachment to shave your head and sell all your belongings. Obviously don't fall in that category, not shaving our head. But towards giving away all your possessions and becoming, a sadhu begging on the street. But actually having such an appreciation for the material things that you have, the people in your life, because we know that they will disappear. So it's like the time that you have together with your iPod, with your beloved, with whatever it is, a material or a human kind of thing. You love so much that time of connection because you know it's inevitable. The great non-attachment is happening. Also true with our bodies. The great liberation will happen. So while we are in the body, we should love it as much as we possibly can. Nutrition, exercise, conscious thought, fresh air, these kind of things that create health, rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to die anyway. I can smoke and eat the bacon cheeseburgers and do whatever the hell I want to. Which is obviously one perspective of it, but while we have the body, honor it and take care of it. While we have the relationship of another human and they're working vibrationally compatibly, cherish those moments because they will change.
So seeing what's really happening, the perspective of actually seeing what's really happening rather than stories, rather than making things up, rather than things that we're stuck with
world I am and what's going on with it. But I think, as I have seen in my experience of it, that my perspective of my relationship to animals and my own body has changed the way that I eat significantly, to the point that I choose to eat a plant-based diet from physical, social, and environmental reasons, and I think that's a byproduct of the practice.
And so leading on from this, so vegetarianism, there's many arguments as to whether being vegetarian actually makes any real difference on a world scale. But can yoga and this shift in the perspective, can it make a difference? Yoga's very fashionable now, it's uber trendy, like everyone's doing it. So I think there's probably a lot of people miss the real point. And so is this yoga fad? Can this yoga fad make a real difference? Can it swing the perspective and make positive change on a worldwide level, do you think?
Eternal optimist. So the answer is clearly yes. Because I really do have an optimistic perspective on it, and I think that however or whyever people are entering the practice, the benefits will arise. That a higher state of awareness of body, mind, and spirit are the inevitable byproducts of the practice. Whether or not that will have such a broad-ranging shift that nobody's selling guns to the rebels who are fighting against the dictator. These are much bigger mountains to climb, but on the micro level, yes, it does change. Because each person who starts the practice on the molecular level changes the vibrations. So as the vibrations start to shift in one human, they spread outwards. If we put a drop of dye